Start. Hi, this is David Skarika, editor of addictedtoprofits.net. And with me is my friend, Edward Kelly. He's recovering now. He was sick, so he might have a couple coughs in there. And he's got some, we've interviewed him in the past, and from Inca One, which, by the way, just so you know, the ticker is now Inca, INCA, rather than the old ticker was IO. So that's important to know for people. So Inca One's unique in that they have like an ore processing plant. So they're not really an exploration or producer. They actually produce this stuff and then sell it. And they actually have their own bullion store as well, where they sell coins. And they just had an excellent report with like their highest monthly production and revenues ever. What I'll do is I'll screen share shortly and show the press release. I'm also going to link to the press release below this interview. And the stock is only trading on like 31, 32 cents. It's only got $11 million market cap. And considering what's going on, because they also had a big loan facility set up this summer, you can talk about that as well, which has helped them to do this big expansion. So thanks for being here. Like I said, I'm gonna throw out this interview in a second. This press release in a second. And Edward, you can start talking about it and then I'll put it up,
Great. Well, good to be back here with you again, David, and nice to be able to give an update to your subscribers and your audience again. Yeah, as you mentioned, in August, we just put out some news yesterday of record production for the company. We had our best ever month of deliveries that came to the plant, as well as processing. So we processed just short of just under 7,000 tons, about 220 tons per day, which really is about 50% of our permitted and built out capacity. So we still got a bit of a runway, obviously, to fill, but when we're getting over 200 tons per day, this is the kind of the mark where we're able to be in profitability. And we just want to keep this momentum going here, which has really been spurred off from the prepayment gold facility that we were able to ink in the summertime for $9 million US of prepayment gold facility. So, we were able to.
Could you tell us a little more about the facility, how it's structured, et cetera? Because one thing I liked about it when you did it was, one issue we always have in junior mining stocks when they want to expand like this and start becoming profitable companies is, you're a little different because, again, you have this plant, but when they become, say, producing companies in normal cases, it's just the amount of dilution you have to do to exactly get that. And the facility kind of avoided that dilution,
Yeah, it was really, it is. It's a prepayment gold facility where we drew down on our first drawdown of 6 million of the 9 million, and we have to deliver ounces to the OSM Precious Metal Fund over the next 18 months. So it's just paid back slowly over 18 months. And what it does is it gives us the available working capital that's non-dilutive to shareholders. There's no options, no warrants, no finder's fees, no anything, just given out. It was just a straight 6 million injection right on the drawdown right away. And from that, we were able to continue to ramp up buying, which has always just been a working capital issue to get the plant full. So with this facility, we should be able to get it to kind of in this range, somewhere between 175 to 225 tons per day. And anything, kind of what we're talking about there is, over 200 is kind of our break-even point. So we had about 2,300 ounces sold or produced that month, and just over 4 million in sales. And how we get paid as a company is because we buy this ore from the artisanal small scale miners. As we get paid kind of in a variety of different ways, but it works out to be just over $200 a ton that we're making. So on 7,000 tons, that's about $1.4 million of gross revenue that comes to the company for our expenses. And on that kind of volumes, our budget's maybe about $1 million a month. So you can kind of see how the numbers work there based on the gross revenue and our costs.
Yeah, and actually one thing I'd like to point out, because I know you have a different model, but there's actually a company which I actually have on my watch list here that I own, called Galani Gold, that's at GG.v, and it's come down a lot, and I think it's undervalued. But they produce about 30,000 ounces a year in their two mines in Africa, and it has like a $43 million market cap. And you guys are essentially at 2,300 an ounce, or 23,000, so 2,300 ounces a month. That's, between 35 and 40,000 ounces a year, and you have an $11 million market cap. So it just shows you like how cheap the stock is, especially if you start becoming cash flow positive and profitable.
Yeah, I think that's the thing to look out for in the next quarter or two to come here. We'll start to see those dollars drop to the bottom line from higher production and ounces produced.
And by the way, will the increase in production make like more coins and this sort of thing available in your store?
Yeah, I mean, we are. That's just really a demand piece where we have just put another order in for more coins, so we'll have more available inventory to be able to sell, and it's just on a first come basis.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think that's it. Like I like to keep these updates short on the stock chart of the day. So I'll have a chart of the stock, which by the way, like I said, it's really cheap right now. And this is actually great news, but right now we're one of those lulls in the junior mining industry where, if the tree falls in the forest, if no one hears it, does it actually happen? And I'm seeing this all over the place where good news comes out and there's no reaction, or at least in some cases, actually people sell the news because they're just whatever. They're just so losing patience.
Looking for liquidity. Yeah.
Looking for liquidity but I just think on the macro side, I think one of the issues is, we have all these bubbles all over the market in terms of stock market, meme stocks, crypto, etc. And I just think it's negatively affecting precious metals, because precious metals kind of are the fear trade, and also, just the junior miners kind of being like a speculation. In many cases, there's all these other sectors that have like gone up like crazy in this bubble. People are just neglecting at one time. But if you go look at where gold prices are, where the valuations of these companies are, I think in the next 1 to 3 years, people are gonna be pretty happy.
Yeah, the gold price is hanging in there nice. We're happy with it. 1,750 to 1,800 is really good for our business and our cash flow at this point in time.
And by the way, that's one thing I'd like to make, or a comment I'd like to make. Is what's funny is that we're all disappointed that gold is not over 2,000, especially with all the money being printed around the world, etc. But I always tell people, I remember when gold bottomed to 11, 1,200. I'm like, if you can get above 15, 1,600, that's a great market for these companies.
Yeah,
you can start
100%.
making money. So that's the funny thing about it, is that I think people are so focused on just the price of gold having to be 2,000 or 2,500. They don't realize that 17, 18, like, we've both been around 20 years ago when I started, gold was 250.
Yeah.
So if you had told me it's 1,700 in 2020, I would have been pretty happy with that.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. We should be really happy with it. Companies are making money, and it's good all around.
And by the way, I think that's the next phase, is that there's so many of the large caps that have record cash flow and profitability because they streamlined during the downturn, and now they're like kind of lean. I think you will see more takeover, especially because some of the mid tiers and the juniors are so cheap.
Yep, that's going to be the next phase, and maybe that's the catalyst that's going to get more interest into the precious metal sector.
Metals market, yeah. Anyhow, thanks for being here, and
thanks, Dave. Good to be with you again.
When you've got some more news, we'll talk again.
Sounds great. Thank you.